This is my 1998 Mexican Strat. I get a lot of questions about it all the time because it's a pretty cool looking guitar with all the mods I've done to it, but it's really nothing special. And in fact, if I had to do it again, I just would have bought a new Strat, and instead of doing all the upgrades myself. I'll talk a little bit about it though. There's some cool things going on with the electronics, and I'll play some demos for you so you can hear everything. I want to say, starting off, it's a 1998 Strat, and that's the body and that's the neck. The frets are original, and the whammy bar is original, and the jack plate. But that's about it. Even the jack was replaced. It got old. It got a little scratchy. All the pots, all of the electronics inside, the pickups and stuff. But anyway, starting one by one, I switched to these locking tuners recently, which are pretty cool. You feed the string in. There's no winding around the nut or anything, if you can see that. You feed it in, you pull it tight against the neck, and then you screw in the locking tuner. And I think as far as that goes, I'm going to try and get locking tuners on all my guitars from now on. I just got them from StewMac. They're Goto vintage style. And I have a string tree by Graphtec that came with the Graphtec nut I added years and years ago. One of the biggest upgrades I did was actually the saddles. These are stainless steel saddles. The cheaper Mexican Strats or the made in China or made in Japan Strats, they come with die-cast saddles instead of steel ones. And one of the biggest upgrades I did was definitely the steel saddles. There was definitely a noticeable increase in sustain and brightness out of the guitar. This has always been a dull instrument, and I feel like it's just because the neck and the body don't resonate well. But nevertheless, I kept trying new electronics in it to see if I could get some better sounds out of it. I tried like a blending configuration with the pickups. So what I have here is actually just a regular volume knob for master volume for all three pickups. I have a master tone for all three pickups. So this is what this sounds like on the neck pickup. Rolled that tone off. Sometimes I just like it to roll about halfway. But mostly I leave it all the way up just because the guitar is dark, like I said, tonality-wise. With the blend pickup, so this is what's going to be able to make a combination out of the pickups between the neck pickup and the bridge pickup. So I have a normal 5-way switch here. Neck and middle together out of phase, middle pickup alone, bridge and middle out of phase, bridge pickup alone. And this blender will be able to add in 3 pickups all together. So for instance, if I was just on the second position, we would call this here between the bridge and the middle pickup, and I rolled this knob off, that's the blend circuit, it's going to be blending in the neck pickup now. A little bit of a difference. I don't think it's that huge, but it's a nice option for getting different tones. I'll play that now. So this is just in the normal 2 positions. So bridge and middle pickup combined out of phase. And then adding in the neck pickup. And likewise going the other way. When you roll the blend circuit, when you turn that knob on, which is rolling it all the way off as you would with the tone or something like that, turning it counterclockwise anyway, your sound is going to be the same in the 4th position as it is in the 2nd position. But just for comparison purposes, I'm going to play the 4th position, neck and middle together without the blend circuit, and then again adding in the bridge. It's cool. It's a little bit extra work to get to that sound if you want it while you're in the middle playing. But it's a little different, so I usually don't use it live just for recording purposes. I'll show you what it sounds like now when I'm playing the neck pickup versus when I start adding in this bridge pickup. So that's one of the cool things about the blend circuit. You can get all 3 pickups together, or you can actually separate these 2 pickups and get them together in a series sound, which is with kind of like a little bit of a boosted output. So they're not out of phase. They're actually in phase with each other, but you're putting them together. So there's going to be a little bit higher output and obviously a little bit different sound because you're getting the neck and the bridge pickup together. So here's with just the neck. And then rolling the bridge in. And I'll do the same thing back. So I'll start on the bridge and then add in the neck. So some cool options there. I guess I should talk about the pickups, right? I've got some extra toggle switches down here. Those will come in later. But the pickup set is a Seymour Duncan pickup set. It's the Texas Hot coil, single coil, a true single coil in the neck, which is my favorite pickup out of the guitar, I'd say. And that's a pretty good sounding pickup for clean sounds or for like distorted leads. I'd like to think it would be a little bit better on a guitar that's brighter. It is a bright pickup to begin with, but it still doesn't have that Strat chime that I would like, and that's probably a factor of the neck and the body just not resonating real well. Moving on to the middle pickup, this is a humbucker actually. This is the Seymour Duncan Duckbucker. I'll add in some B-roll shots, by the way, so you can get a good close-up of it. It's a humbucker when it's in normal configuration, and this top toggle switch is for putting itself out of phase with itself, which is what a humbucker is normally. So I'm not sure what happened with the wiring, but it sounds pretty wicked when you put it on the 2 and 4 position. I'll play it just by itself in the normal stock position. So this is just the middle pickup. It's a humbucker again. And I'm gonna flip this switch. It doesn't actually sound too different on its own. So in the regular position again, versus, there's hardly any difference at all there, but the major difference comes in when you start adding it in the 2 and 4 position. So in the 4th position we have the neck pickup and the middle pickup together, and this is normally what it sounds like before I flip the switch. And then flip this and it's like a really thin out sound. Kind of like 4th position taken to the extreme. So when you play with the pickup set on this like really out of phase sound, you get rid of the bass end obviously, and when you turn the tone down you get rid of the top end, so you're left with just mids. And you get a lot less lower output. That's at max volume there, but if you add in a bit of drive, that makes up for it. Normal 4th position first. Flip the switch so we get that really out of phase sound. And then roll the tone off so you're getting all the mids. And if you add a lot of drive in there, it gets pretty crazy sounding. Kind of like you've got a cocked wah, where you turn on the wah pedal and you just stick it at a certain point. Anyway, that's that. You heard the middle pickup by itself. Talking about the bridge pickup, it's a humbucker. This is the Seymour Duncan JB Mini. It's made to match the output of single coils. So it's made to fit in a normal single coil size, and it's made to fit with 250K pots, which are used for single coil pickups. But it's a humbucker basically. So this is what this sounds like. And then this final toggle down here is what I use to split the coil in the bridge. You'll get a better idea if I use some overdrive. So here's bridge in normal position again, just with overdrive. And then split the coil. I'll combine that again with the middle pickup, and we'll play with the out-of-phase switch and the tone knob with some overdrive, of course. Probably the most common question I get asked about this instrument is obviously the pickguard. It's just some leather pickguard that I found on Reverb years and years ago. I bought this guitar in 2010, I want to say. And it came with the normal white pickguard. The neck was a little beat up. I think the owner had originally started all this fretwear himself with like a screwdriver or something. He took some of the coating off. But it's definitely gotten worse since I've gotten it. I don't really care about it. But the pickguard came off of Reverb a year or two later when I wanted to really start playing this guitar, and so I wanted to make it look cool, and I started getting some different electronics in it too, and just making sure I didn't forget anything else. The last thing I have in here that's been replaced is the tremolo block, so the bridge block I should say, and this is just the steel piece that goes inside here against the springs. It's a nickel cheaper material, like a lighter weight bridge block that comes in it, but I've replaced it with a steel one, and I think that made a little bit difference in volume as well. And honestly, if I had to do it all over again, as soon as I got this guitar and I started replacing the pieces and I realized it wasn't really going anywhere, I think I'd just start over and just get a new body and a new neck and try and start from there. Start with a guitar that resonates well and sounds great acoustically, Is it loud? This guitar is pretty quiet, so that's why it's never really sounded great, I think. But yeah, that's my Strat. So maybe it was interesting to you to learn a little bit about what I've got going on here. There's definitely some cool pickup combinations and sounds that I can get out of it. The instrument itself isn't all that great, but I'm glad I, went crazy and modded the Strat, a cheaper Strat, and not something like a PRS Silver Sky, which I've got my eye on now for a while. I played one of those, and that's definitely one of the best Strats I've ever played. So I'm thinking about picking up a proper Strat and just leaving that kind of stock, for a normal Strat sound. But this is pretty cool too. If you need to go to a gig and you need to cover a lot of ground, something like a pickup configuration like this will get you pretty far.